the dawn of the renewed world, when the soil was thick with promise and the air shimmered with untouched purity, a silent peril hid beneath the surface. One single choice, simple, almost innocent, opened the gates to a destiny where beauty concealed the deepest rot. And then the heavens stirred, and divine messengers descended with a cry that split the stillness. "Bring them out! Take them away from this place! Run for your life! Do not look behind you!" The earth was young again, freshly washed by the great deluge. Rivers carved new paths through the valleys. Mountains still breathed the scent of cleansing rain, and the horizon was painted with a hope that seemed almost tangible. Creation bowed in hushed reverence before the covenant etched in the sky. Never again would water swallow the world. The rainbow stood as a shimmering reminder of the eternal promise. In that renewed era, the eyes of the Almighty fell upon a faithful man, Abram, a soul steadfast in belief. On the quiet plains of Canaan, the Eternal spoke to him, sealing a future that would shift the destiny of nations. "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you." The words descended like thunderous drops of hope, soaking Abram's spirit. He believed, and the blessing settled upon him like the gentle dew of dawn. Everything he touched flourished. His name became a symbol of honor. His once solitary tent swelled into a living village filled with servants, animals, and laughter. The bleating of flocks mingled with children's joy at dusk. Abundance surrounded him like a crown, and walking beside him was his nephew Lot, Haran's son, who prospered under the same sky of blessings. Yet the land that had once felt endless began to tighten under the weight of their overflowing herds. Valleys strained beneath so much prosperity. Where blessings abound without wisdom, conflict slips in like a shadow. Shepherds argued over wells. Men quarreled over the greenest pastures. The air thickened with strife, threatening to fracture the bond between uncle and nephew. Abraham, a man of peace and discernment, knew such discord could poison the promise that God had given him. He sought neither division nor victory, only peace and the preservation of faith. One tranquil afternoon, as a soft breeze stirred the curtains of his tent, he called Lot to him. With the calm authority of someone who trusts the Almighty completely, he spoke, "Let there be no strife between us. We are family. The whole land lies before you, separate from me. If you choose the left, I will go right. If you choose the right, I will go left." A gesture of immense humility, an elder relinquishing his rightful claim for the sake of peace. True faith whispered through his decision. Abraham understood that no land could bind the blessing that came from God. Lot lifted his eyes, and what he saw intoxicated the senses. The entire Jordan plain stretched before him like a green ocean under the waning sun, lush, vibrant, alive. Before Sodom and Gomorrah met their doom, that region pulsed with Eden-like splendor. The Jordan's waters flowed gently, feeding golden fields and vineyards glimmering toward Zoar. It was a land that promised effortless wealth, a paradise with hidden fangs. Lot's gaze clung to its surface beauty, and with a heart swayed by what eyes can capture but spirit cannot discern, he chose the entire plain for himself. Thus he parted from Abraham, walking eastward toward a fate that would test his soul. His tents crept closer to the cities of the plain until finally he dwelled in Sodom, a jewel of the valley whose sparkle veiled its decay. From afar it looked blessed. Stone houses catching the sun, markets alive with sound, fields watered by clever canals. But beneath the glitter lay a poison that corroded character and strangled virtue. Scripture does not soften the truth. The men of Sodom were wicked, brazenly, defiantly corrupt before the Lord. Their prosperity was not born of righteousness, but of arrogance. Their laughter filled plazas. Their pleasures overflowed. Yet the city's spirit was hollow, its innocence long exiled. Gold flowed, but compassion died. Their beauty had become an altar of idolatry. The sacred virtue of hospitality, vital in the harsh lands of the East, was trampled and mocked. Strangers were prey. The poor were tools. Kindness was ridiculed as weakness. Sodom inverted morality. Violence became entertainment. Suffering was spectacle. Wealthy men staged cruel contests where the helpless fought for survival. Children learned mockery before they learned humility. Immorality was celebrated as liberation. Their temples mixed worship with depravity and bloodshed. Their laws punished charity. Their leaders rewarded cruelty, pride, gluttony, idleness, and a cold refusal to aid the weak. These were the pillars of Sodom's fall. Their corruption was not hidden. It roared to the heavens. And Lot, blinded by beauty, pitched his tent at the edge of the abyss. While Lot sank deeper into the valley's seduction, Abraham grew in faith on the high plains of Canaan. And one scorching afternoon, as he rested in the shade of his tent, 3 figures appeared before him without sound or warning, standing as if shaped from the very light of heaven. Abraham sensed the divine. He ran forward and bowed low. Offering water, rest, and a feast, he served them with reverence born from a deep spiritual instinct: unleavened bread, milk, butter, and a tender calf. He set the best he had before them, and beneath the great tree, the Lord himself revealed the impossible. Sarah would bear a son. But after the promise came a somber revelation. 2 of the visitors, angels unmistakably, turned their gaze toward Sodom. Their steps carried the gravity of impending judgment. The third remained with Abraham, and in that moment, the Almighty opened his heart to his servant. Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? The cries of the oppressed, the stench of injustice, the echo of violence, all of it had reached heaven. Sodom and Gomorrah were ripe for judgment. The angels descended toward the doomed cities, their forms reflecting the fading gold of twilight. And at the gate of Sodom sat Lot, unaware that destiny itself was approaching him. When he saw the travelers, he rose quickly. Something in them stirred the last vestige of righteousness within him. He bowed, begged them to enter his home, and offered rest and protection. The angels first refused, testing the depth of his hospitality. But Lot insisted, knowing too well the horrors that prowled the night streets of Sodom. As they ate in silence, the city outside awakened with wicked anticipation. Rumors spread, faces gathered, voices grew. Soon the entire male population surrounded Lot's home, driven by perversion and violence. They demanded the strangers. Lot trembled. In desperation, tainted by the culture he lived in, he offered an unthinkable alternative. But the mob mocked him, scorned him, surged against the door like a living beast. And just as chaos swallowed hope, the angels acted. Their hands reached out, seized Lot, and pulled him inside. The door slammed shut with a sound like a divine verdict.